There's a painful truth we don't like to talk about, and that's children do not belong in Hollywood. Not because they aren't talented, not because they don't have dreams, but because the industry, by its very nature, doesn't protect them. Shirley Temple was America's sweetheart. At just 3 years old, she became a symbol of hope during the Great Depression. Smiling, singing, dancing, just an all-around perfect little star. But behind the curls and the charm, Shirley was exposed to the dark side of the industry long before she understood what it was. In her autobiography, she described how a studio executive exposed himself to her in a private meeting when she was still a teenager. She left the room shaken, and that was just one story. Her memoir also spoke of grueling hours, constant control, and being a product instead of a child. Her mother had to sit next to her on set with a hidden pin to poke her if she wasn't smiling wide enough. Now that's not childhood, that's performance under pressure. That's exploitation in disguise. And it's not just Shirley. And decades later, the Quiet on Set documentary peeled back the curtain on the 1990s and early 2000s era of children's television, specifically the world of Nickelodeon. Shows we all grew up watching, characters we loved, actors we thought had it made, but behind the scenes, many of these young stars were exposed to emotional abuse, inappropriate behavior, manipulation, and in some cases, sexual exploitation. The documentary features disturbing accounts of child actors being sexualized, silenced, or left unprotected by the adults who were supposed to look out for them. One child star said, "They knew. They all knew. But the money was too good."
That this film is seen the way it's meant to be seen, and that it's, streamed, and the message gets out very clearly, because these monsters need to be stopped. They need to be stopped. And a guy like Brian Peck has been doing this for decades, and it's been reported widely, many, many times over.
Even when he was an actor?
When he was an actor?
Yeah.
He was a voice coach.
Just think about that. Hollywood isn't built to nurture children, it's built to sell them. Sell their image, sell their talent, sell their innocence. And when they outgrow their marketable look, or when the trauma catches up with them, the industry discards them. Look at the list of former child stars who ended up in rehab court or completely vanished. That's not a coincidence. That's a system breaking kids and calling it fame. So no, this isn't about demonizing talent. It's about demanding that we protect childhood. Children belong in school, in play, in homes where they're safe to grow. Not on movie sets where their innocence is currency. Shirley Temple lived to tell her story, but some never got the chance. It's time we stop asking, how do we make child stars safer, and start asking, why do we need them at all? Hollywood has a long and troubling history of covering up abuse, exploitation, especially when it involves powerful people and vulnerable victims, like children. Here's how the system enables silence, protects abusers, and allows these crimes to continue unchecked. First off, non-disclosure agreements, or in other words, NDAs. Victims or their families are often pressured to sign NDAs in exchange for settlements. These legal documents gag victims from ever speaking publicly, even about criminal abuse. Studios use them to protect reputations, not people.
They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about. They tell you that themselves.
Another one is power and influence of industry gatekeepers. Abusers often hold top positions: producers, agents, directors, executives. Victims are told, if you speak up, you'll never work again. Careers are threatened, reputations are destroyed, silence becomes survival. Another one is fixers and studio cover-ups. In the golden age of Hollywood, studios had in-house fixers, quote unquote, whose entire job was to cover scandals by paying off victims, destroying evidence, or spinning stories.
And it's because they've grown in our culture, and the new versions of them made them important. When 21 Savage comes out and he's Red Rum, if you look at the War Angel LP, you'll see Red Rum. When Pop comes out and you see his version of Mini Men, when you're on Gang Time, you got a whole group of niggas over there they know who you are. Yeah. They would like to knock you off because you mean something to this side.
Today, powerful PR teams and legal departments still do this, just a little bit more quietly. Another one is media complicity. Major media outlets have long-standing relationships with studios. Journalists who tried to report on predators were often blocked, discredited, or pressured to back down. An example of this would be Ronan Farrow's story about Harvey Weinstein was initially rejected by NBC. You also have failure of child labor and safety laws. Existing laws like Coogan Law protects kids' finances but not their emotional or physical safety. No consistent oversight on TV or film sets, no mandatory child advocates. You also have predators that thrive where there is no accountability.
Oh, you look very, very attractive. Oh, you look very, very attractive tonight.
What you talking about, Willis?
Tonight.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Did you pick this out yourself, the dress and the everything?
Yes.
Yeah.
My mom and dad helped me.
Your mom and dad helped you. Well, that's good. Yeah. And how old are you? I said I wasn't quite sure.
5.
5 years old.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You have gaslighting and grooming culture.
Clear something up, because I've been getting a rundown on the street. Everybody seems to think that y'all are either girlfriend or boyfriend or cousins or friends. Let's just get the record straight.
I better go get me a white Jeep.
Well, no, we're not related at all. No, we're not. We're just very close. He's my best friend.
Yeah, cool.
Now, who found who?
In the whole wide world.
Now, abusers build trust and dependency with their victims. They also normalize inappropriate behavior and isolate children from anyone who might intervene. When victims try to speak out, they're often told, "You're overreacting, no one will believe you, you'll ruin careers." You also have public distraction. When accusations surface, studios release damage control statements denying knowledge or promote unrelated projects to shift the narrative. Victim stories get buried under red carpet trailers and celebrity gossip. Survivors face lengthy, expensive lawsuits that re-traumatize them, actually. Many crimes go unprosecuted because of the outdated statute laws. Some survivors are not believed until decades later, when it's often too late for justice. You also have protecting the brand and protecting the people. Studios, networks, and executives fear loss of revenue and image. More than the cost of abuse, if the abuser is valuable to the brand, they're protected. Victims often blacklisted. Some examples of this would be Harvey Weinstein assaulted dozens of women over decades while being praised as a genius. Another one is Dan Schneider. Nickelodeon was protected for years despite disturbing allegations. And also, too, you guys are familiar with this one, Shirley Temple. She faced inappropriate behavior even as a child, and Hollywood just kept smiling. Bottom line, Hollywood doesn't protect predators by accident. It does so by design. Until the industry prioritizes human dignity over profit, the cover-ups will continue. Let me know what you think in the comment section.